Piece chapter 1041 left us on a crazy cliffhanger. One Piece has been airing for more than 2 decades and Luffy's devil fruit seemed to be just an ordinary ability. But it seems there is much more than that, and it was clearly shown in the last chapter. This is the topic I want to talk about today, but before starting I want to ask you all to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more. I hope you all have a great day. Now let's get on with the video. Well, there's been a lot of hype after Luffy's last transformation. According to Kaido, he died, but as we know, he did not. Zunesha speaks to Momonosuke and tells him that he can hear the drums of liberation for the first time in 800 years and proclaims that JoyBoy has returned. Just as Luffy starts to smile and steam starts coming out of his mouth, while an unknown substance starts to envelop him. Right now, we don't know exactly what this power is. We don't know if it is the Devil Fruit awakening or his hidden D power, but there have been a lot of foreshadowings about this scene. Firstly, in One Piece chapter 1018, a very interesting character made its debut, and that character is God Nika, who was a legendary, possibly mythical warrior that was once revered as the sun god by slaves from ancient times. He was first mentioned by Who's Who heard about the legend from a prison guard during his imprisonment by the world government. In One Piece chapter 1043, the sound effects bubble next to Luffy says Nikatsu. Nikatsunade means grinning about the use of Nika to replace the usual grin SFX for Luffy. Nikatsunade means grinning, but the use of Nika to replace the usual grin SFX for Luffy may imply a Luffy-Nika Sundawn parallelism. Another thing that connects this chapter to the sun god Nika is the SFX that was used in the last panel as a Drums of Liberation. We can see the exact same SFX used in One Piece chapter 253 during the bonfire scene, which may imply that the Drums of Liberation sound is the same which was used in that scene. This was not the only time when this SFX was used. In One Piece chapter 300 during the bonfire, we can see it being used again. What is interesting is that whenever Oda used that specific sound effect, Luffy was looking like sun god Nika. This could mean something, and I don't think that it was just a big coincidence. Another foreshadowing about Luffy's later power-up was in the cover of One Piece chapter 1039, where we can see Straw Hats who are wandering through a jungle. On this cover, we can see Luffy looking at a monkey who is pointing at some sort of weird jewelry, and in One Piece chapter 1041, we can see almost exactly the same thing on Luffy's face. Another small theory which I had in my mind after looking at this cover page again is connected to Luffy's straw hat. We know that the straw hat has been one of the biggest trademarks of Luffy, and at first it just seemed like an ordinary pirate attribute of Luffy's, which was gifted to him by Shanks. But after hearing that originally the hat belonged to the Pirate King, Goldie Roger, a lot of people started thinking about its importance and what it could possibly be. But the time which made everyone shocked and surprised was One Piece chapter 906, when a giant straw hat in the freezing room of Mariajoy's was revealed. To this day we know absolutely nothing about its existence, but it made a lot of people speculate, including me, that the hat has very big significance in the One Piece world, and that it's related to the Ancient Kingdom and the Void Century. But information about it is very secretive, since we can pretty much assume that the world government erased it from history, similar to how they have done it several times already, and we know that Luffy shares a lot of similarities with monkeys. His surname literally is Monkey after all, and on this cover we can see Luffy looking at a monkey who wears a crown. And what if the cover of One Piece chapter 1039 foreshadows the true significance of Luffy's straw hat, and it is a crown of an ancient kingdom which has been passed down to people who had inherited the will of D. But Shanks' existence makes this theory very hard to be the case, since he is the only non-D user of that hat. But we know very little about Shanks, so who knows? He could be the special case here. This chapter may reveal things about Kaido too. The very first thing we hear about him when he appears is that he wanted to die and had tried it multiple times. A lot of people, including me, thought that he wanted to do that mainly because of some traumatic experience and depression. But later in the Wano arc, we found out that this was not the case. In Wano, we learned that Kaido wanted to die in some form of glory, to have a memorable death in some sort of ritualistic manner to achieve some kind of satisfaction. Or he wanted death to achieve some kind of legacy, like when Kaido accused Whitebeard for dying in a right way, but well, in recent chapters we learned that these two reasons are wrong as well. Kaido did not want to die simply for the sake of being dead, but because of resurrection. When we saw him in King's flashback, it was clearly implied that Kaido wanted to become a JoyBoy and that all of his actions have been in service of that goal. It is not just a coincidence that he took Wano. He specifically took that country because JoyBoy was prophesied to be reborn there. But it seems after some time he realized that he wasn't JoyBoy, and that's why he lost his joyfulness and became depressed. But despite that, he still did not give up on his dream. Whenever he first appeared, a lot of people were confused about his constant defeats and captures despite him being labeled as the strongest creature. It was said that he had tasted defeat as a pirate on 7 occasions and had been caught by marines or enemy ships no less than 18 times. This made a lot of people, including me, very confused. How could the strongest creature be captured that many times? But it seems Kaido just let them capture him. He wanted to die all the time to know if he was a JoyBoy or not. When he first threw Luffy off the roof, he thought that Luffy had died and said, "So, you are also not JoyBoy." And I really wonder what his reaction really will be. Will he be happy to finally see JoyBoy, or will he become even madder to see someone else becoming JoyBoy? Hope we'll see future chapters soon. We still don't know what has happened to Luffy at the end of the chapter. We don't know if JoyBoy possessed Luffy's body or if Luffy just awakened his hidden JoyBoy abilities. It also seems that JoyBoy and Sun God Nika are the same characters, and last year Oda said that the next time Nika appears, he will show his face. Could this chapter then be the one where he shows his face? We still don't know the true nature of Luffy's devil fruit, and a lot of people dislike the whole Luffy being the reincarnation of JoyBoy thing. But I don't see a problem here. Ever since the first arc, we knew that Luffy was special. We knew that he would be the one to change the world of One Piece forever, and his specialty has been hyped up ever since in Wano. Since in this arc, we learned the uniqueness of Luffy's devil fruit as well as his connection to JoyBoy. However, personally, I would prefer if JoyBoy did not possess Luffy's body, and that it was just a title. It also seems that Law and Kid weren't the only worst generation members who had awakened their fruit, and after chapter 1043, we can assume that Luffy has also finally awakened his fruit. Ever since Dressrosa, when we first heard about the devil fruit awakening, all of us wondered how strong Luffy's awakening could be. There have been a lot of speculations about it, and we finally may see the answers to that. For some reason, Luffy is melting his body and his straw hat as well. Just like every other Paramecia awakening, we can assume that he can affect his surroundings as well. We have seen how strong Katakuri and Don Flamingo have been after Devil Fruit awakening, and can't help but wonder how strong Luffy will be. Despite the last scene, we don't exactly know what powers and abilities Luffy's Devil Fruit awakening grants him, and I can't wait for the upcoming chapters so we can see. I think it is also confirmed that the Devil Fruit the 5 Elder Stars were talking about was Luffy's Gomu Gomu no Mi. However, I wonder what the true name of this fruit was and why the world government changed it. The specialty of this fruit has been hyped up throughout Wano. We got a little hint from Who and Who said that this devil fruit belonged to the world government from whom Shanks stole the fruit, and he also talked about Sun God Nika, who was briefly mentioned in this chapter. Then we got a small scene from the Gorosei, who were talking about an ancient legendary fruit whose name has been erased from the world because they were afraid of that fruit's awakening. And finally, all the pieces are coming together. I plan on doing a separate video about Luffy's devil fruit where I will talk about every single little detail which you may have missed, so stay tuned for it. Anyway, I guess this is all for today. What do you think about JoyBoy? Let me know in the comments, like this video, and subscribe to the channel for more. Black Leg Vince Smoke out. Bye.